How to tell a client they are wrong. Wow, that's a huge question. And you guys have submitted that question to me down in the comments, so I'm going to answer it on this episode of the Inside BS Show. Hi, it's Dave Lorenzo, and today we're tackling how to tell a client they are wrong. This is a huge topic, and it's a really sensitive one because no one ever wins an argument with a client. Nobody ever wins an argument with a client because when you're right and the client's wrong, they go away. So how do you gently tell a client they're wrong? How do you tell a client they're wrong? Well, I've got 5 things you should do, a 5-step process for telling a client they're wrong, for convincing them that they're wrong. And then I've got 1 thing you should never do. So be sure and stay with me till the end. I'm going to share the 1 thing you should never, ever do when we get to the end of this video. All right, let's dive into the content. The first thing you need to do when you're telling a client that they're wrong is get the client talking about the success you've had together or the success that they've enjoyed while you guys have been working together, and then compliment them on the success. Here's what this looks like. Mr. Client, I'm looking at the results that we've achieved together, and as I look at the results, I have to tell you, you've done a fantastic job. Our work together has been remarkable, and your role in it was critical because without you, this doesn't happen. You really embraced what we were doing, and we're up 60% since we started working together. Congratulations, you've done a great job. What did I do there? I complimented the client even though the results were because of me. And the reason that you're doing this is you're stroking their ego. You're making them feel good. And you want them to feel good because now you're going to hit them in the mouth. So you're going to make them feel good first. The next step in this process, if you're wondering how to tell a client they're wrong, is to share a story about the emotion that you want them to feel. Share a story that evokes the emotion that you want them to feel. So if you want them to feel guilty, share a story that's going to highlight how the hero in the story made a mistake and they felt guilty. So Mr. Client, I want to tell you a story about somebody who's in a different industry from you but had similar issues. And then you're going to tell them this story. You're going to tell them about the decision the person in the story made, how it went badly, and how the person felt shame and guilt for making the bad decision. You're putting them in, after you made them feel good, you're putting them in the emotional state you want them to be in. So, Mr. Client, we discussed making changes to your sales process, and you decided that you were going to ignore our discussion and do the things you wanted to do. And let me tell you a little story. 3 years ago, I had a client in the XYZ industry, which is pretty similar to yours. Wouldn't you agree? Yeah. And I recommended these 3 things. And the client said, I can't do those 3 things because it would go against industry norms. And I stood quiet and I let the client make that mistake. And what ended up happening? The client's business lost $1 million. And the sales manager who made that decision, well, he felt awful, and the owner of the company docked his salary by 25%. He reduced his salary by 25% because of the decision he made. Now, I don't want to see you in that position, so let's look at the 3 things that I've recommended, and let's look at the path that you're on now. And the client's going to say, look, I understand. I know you have my best interests at heart. And then you're going to move on to step 3 while you're having this discussion. You got him in the emotional state you want him in. You first made him feel good, then you made him feel bad. Now, in the 3rd step, you're going to provide data. You're going to provide information that supports your case. Mr. Client, I know I told you that story, and I know it might have been a different industry, but you understand where I'm coming from. Here's some information that I want you to look at. Here are some logical, cold, hard facts. You're going to share the data that supports your case. And then you're going to move on to step 4. You're going to step back and you're going to say, tell me what you think about the information that I just laid out for you. And then you're going to stay quiet. And you're going to listen to the client as he or she makes the case about the information that you just laid out. They're going to either tell you that they're going to consider it or they're going to tell you that they're wrong. So after all that's done, you're going to say, okay, Mr. Client, I understand where you're coming from. I understand all the points that you're making. Here's my recommendation. And then you're going to recommend a course of action for the client to take. Basically, in this fifth step, in this final step, you're going on the record, so to speak. You're telling the client exactly what you think they should be doing. And then if they do their own thing, as is their right as the client, it's not about you. You've made the recommendation that they should do the right thing. So those are the 5 steps. First, get the client talking about a success and compliment them. Second, share a story that evokes emotion that you want them to feel. If you want them to feel guilty, fine. If you want them to feel angry, fine. If you want them to feel frustrated, that's fine. Then you provide data that supports your case. After that, you ask for feedback and you listen. And then finally, you make a recommendation to the client about what you think they should do. Now, there's one thing you should never do. Before we get to that, I want to make sure you know about the free offer that I'm making to all of my loyal video viewers, people just like you. The free offer is scroll down, and when you get to the description, you'll see right at the top of the description, free gift from Dave. Below that is a link. Click on that link. You can download my revenue roadmap. That's my straight line selling system. If you want to learn how to sell, you want a system that is a foolproof system that I've perfected over the last 15 years, click on that, download that document. It teaches you my foolproof system for selling, helps you make more money than you ever dreamed of. You're gonna love it. Click on that link, get your free gift from me. Now I'm gonna tell you about the one thing you should never ever do when it's time to tell a client they're wrong. You should never, ever make it personal. Never get into an argument, a personal argument with your client. You're gonna lose the argument and you're gonna lose the client. Nobody wins business by getting into a fight with a client. Don't ever make it personal. You need to stick to the cold, hard facts, share data, let them feel something emotionally, but let them feel it about the situation and not about you. When you're looking to tell a client that they are wrong, you should never make it personal because it's not about you and the client. Your relationship should remain intact. It should even be stronger as a result of you telling the client that he's wrong. But if you make it personal, you're gonna lose. You're gonna lose the relationship, you're gonna lose the client. You never win an argument and keep a client, you always win an argument and lose a client. Never ever make it personal. If you like what you heard today, down in the comments, tell me what you want to hear more of. I make these videos every day and I do them based on what you're asking for. Tell me in the comments what you want another video on or what you want a different video on. If you like what you heard, give me a thumbs up and be sure and subscribe. My name is Dave Lorenzo. I'm here every day with a brand new video. Thanks for watching. We'll see you back here again tomorrow.